You're about to feel something you can't explain. Your heart might race. Your breath might pause. Because what you're about to read is wrapped in divine fire, and your name is carved on it. Archangel Michael has been pacing for hours trying to push this message through. Heaven is holding its breath, and all your angels are whispering, "Please, don't let them skip this one." Because someone close to you, someone you trust, has been hiding a truth so deep, so heavy, that if it's not uncovered soon, it could delay everything God has been preparing for you. And this isn't fear talking. This is a final spiritual alert. Your soul felt it first, didn't it? That strange shift when you walked in the room. That moment they looked away too quickly. That tension in the air you couldn't name. You thought you were overthinking. But you weren't. You were under spiritually attacked by silence. Because silence can be violent when it's protecting the wrong things. And the person hiding this truth? They know exactly what they're doing. They're pretending to protect you, but in reality, they're protecting themselves. And now? Archangel Michael has had enough. This message isn't just a warning, it's a spiritual order. You were never meant to live in the dark. You were born of light. Born to see clearly. Born to speak boldly. But what if I told you that someone in your family has been praying that you don't find out? What if I told you they've been smiling while knowing something that could change how you see everything? Michael isn't crying for no reason. He's weeping because the truth is sitting in your house, hidden behind a face you've loved. And heaven just declared, no more secrets. Let this message hit deeper. You are spiritually mature now. You're not who you used to be. You can handle what they thought would destroy you. They underestimated your light. They thought silence could protect you from pain. But you were built to walk through fire and come out glowing. The pain won't kill you, the silence will. Michael has been guarding your name. Guarding your timeline. But the divine schedule is shifting, and if you don't hear this now, everything could be delayed again. Don't brush this off. Not this time. The angels are at the edge of your energy shouting, "Wake up. Open your eyes." The one you trust is hiding what you deserve to know. And you know it. You felt it in your bones. You've had dreams about it. You've sensed the spiritual discomfort, but talked yourself out of it. Not anymore. Because God said, "I will no longer let them hide what was meant to free you." This message is your divine flashlight, and you're about to see what was buried in plain sight. There is power in your presence. Your awareness can no longer be shut down. And Archangel Michael has been fighting through layers of resistance just to get this moment to you. This message is proof that God is still speaking. And heaven still sees. The question is, will you finally listen? You've been holding everyone else up. Supporting people who wouldn't survive a day in your shoes. You've been carrying the emotional weight of a family that sometimes forgot how to carry you. But this hidden truth? It's not just an emotional detail. It's a spiritual turning point. And baby, once it's revealed, nothing will be the same. Before we go any further, pause here and do this for yourself, subscribe. Because this isn't entertainment. This is your lifeline. This is heaven's direct connection to your next miracle. Don't disconnect from the very place trying to open your eyes. They're hoping you ignore this. They're hoping you scroll. Because once you know what's been hidden, you will stop serving the wrong table. You'll stop pouring into a well that's been draining you dry. Michael is standing with sword drawn, wings open, eyes burning, watching your next move. Because if you walk away from this truth, it won't just haunt your heart. It'll haunt your timeline. The person who hid this, they knew you'd find out eventually. But they didn't think it would be today. They didn't think heaven would send backup. They didn't think your name would echo through spiritual realms and shake loose the chains they thought would hold you down. But now they're nervous. Because they feel the shift coming. They feel the eyes of angels watching them. They feel the storm that's about to roll through your house, not to harm, but to uncover. And when the truth lands, baby, it's not going to break you. It's going to free you. Your voice is coming back. Your power is rising. And the silence that tried to smother you is about to burn in the light of what Michael is about to show you. Keep reading. They're acting calm on the outside. But inside, they're terrified. Because heaven just sent word, the veil is lifting. And you? You're the one who's about to see clearly. For years, they painted over the cracks. Smiled over the secrets. Lied with a straight face. But God never blinked. Every time you cried wondering why things felt off, heaven was recording it. And now, the angels are handing you the evidence. Because you're finally ready to see what love isn't supposed to look like. You're finally ready to stop calling manipulation family loyalty. And Archangel Michael? He's not just protecting you anymore. He's exposing for you. Your bloodline's been carrying patterns that were never blessed. Secrets passed down like curses. But you? You're the breaker. You're the one who said, "This ends with me." And heaven heard that whisper. Now the shift is in motion. And the person who thought they could hide the truth from you? They felt the temperature change. They felt their lies start to tremble. Because truth has heat. And once it touches a lie, the whole room starts sweating. Michael is standing in that room now. He's already seen what they didn't want you to know. And he's holding it in his hands, glowing. It's time. You're about to know who's been using your name in prayers they never meant. You're about to discover who's been smiling in your face while secretly sabotaging your steps. And the craziest part? They didn't even do it out of hate. They did it out of fear. Fear of your strength. Fear of your rise. Fear that you might outgrow the chains they used to keep you dependent. But you've already outgrown them. And now, the angels are handing you the evidence. Because you're finally ready to see what love isn't supposed to look like. You're finally ready to stop calling manipulation family loyalty. And Archangel Michael? He's not just protecting you anymore. He's exposing for you. Your bloodline's been carrying patterns that were never blessed. Secrets passed down like curses. But you? You're the breaker. You're the one who said, "This ends with me." And heaven heard that whisper. Now the shift is in motion. And the person who thought they could hide the truth from you? They felt the temperature change. They felt their lies start to tremble. Because truth has heat. And once it touches a lie, the whole room starts sweating. Michael is standing in that room now. He's already seen what they didn't want you to know. And he's holding it in his hands, glowing. It's time. You're about to know who's been using your name in prayers they never meant. You're about to discover who's been smiling in your face while secretly sabotaging your steps. And the craziest part? They didn't even do it out of hate. They did it out of fear. Fear of your strength. Fear of your rise. Fear that you might outgrow the chains they used to keep you dependent. But you've already outgrown them. The reason you felt uncomfortable in your own house, in your own spirit, is because you're shedding the skin of lies that were never yours to wear. You've been getting heavier not from burdens, but from the weight of truths you weren't allowed to say out loud. That ends now. This isn't about revenge. This is about revelation. Heaven doesn't expose to shame. Heaven exposes to realign. Because God would rather you cry from truth than die from silence. Michael has been watching you stay quiet to keep the peace. But peace built on secrets isn't peace. It's prison. And your soul was never meant to live in a cage. They hid the truth thinking it would protect you. But what they protected was their version of the story, not God's. And that's why this divine message had to come through tonight. Because the real story? It's about to be told. And you're going to tell it. Not with bitterness, but with authority. Not with rage, but with resurrection. Because once the truth hits your spirit, baby, your whole legacy is going to glow. You'll stop questioning your worth. You'll stop shrinking around them. You'll stop begging for permission to be what God already called you. And that hidden thing they buried? It's about to be unearthed, by fire. Don't doubt the timing. You didn't find this message by mistake. Michael has been trying to reach you through dreams, through signs, through silence. But now he's roaring. Because this is spiritual war. And your breakthrough depends on your eyes being wide open. You're not the problem. You never were. You were just the threat. You were the one their shadows couldn't silence. You were the one their secrets couldn't seduce. And now, the angels are removing the final block from your vision. What comes next? Revelation. Clarity. Boldness. And yes, release. Because once you know the full truth, you'll stop begging tables to let you sit. You'll start building your own. Michael is already making room. God is already preparing the stage. And heaven is already writing down your name, not as the black sheep, but as the golden one. Continue this divine firestorm. They called you dramatic when you questioned things. They rolled their eyes when you said something felt off. They gaslit your intuition and masked their guilt in soft words. But heaven kept the receipts. Archangel Michael kept record of every lie they wrapped in love, every secret they sealed with silence. And now? The trumpet's about to blow. Because when God says, it's time, no lie, no manipulation, no performance can stand in the way. The person you love so deeply, the one you'd never suspect, they've been carrying something with your name on it. And they thought you'd never be strong enough to hold the truth. But they were wrong. You're stronger than ever. Your spirit isn't fragile anymore. You've bled too long to be broken now. Michael is circling them. Spiritually. They feel it. That pressure. That discomfort. That's the angel of revelation applying heat to their cover-up. Something's about to slip. A conversation. A message. A mistake. Because heaven is done waiting. The truth is already cracking the surface. And when it erupts, it's not going to destroy you. It's going to deliver you. They said they hid it to protect you. But the truth is, they hid it to protect the image you had of them. They were afraid the light would change the way you looked at them. But you're not the same version of you anymore. You're spiritually upgraded. And you no longer need illusions to feel loved. You want real. You want raw. You want freedom. And God is delivering it, right now, through this moment. Michael's tears weren't weakness. They were war. A spiritual outcry. A vibration so loud it pierced timelines to reach your soul tonight. Because this truth, it doesn't just affect your peace. It affects your calling. And baby, your calling can't be delayed anymore. Every second you've spent doubting yourself because of their behavior, heaven is paying back in full. Because you've been healing from wounds that weren't even yours. Carrying shame that didn't belong to your name. But no more. There is a breaking happening, not of you, but of what tried to control you. The veil is tearing. And when the full light hits, you will never look at them the same way again. Not out of hate, but out of heavenly awareness. Because now you'll see why the tension was there. Now you'll understand why peace never lasted long in certain rooms. Now you'll know why God kept delaying your plans, not to punish you, but to protect you from making permanent decisions with people hiding permanent truths. You've been too loyal to lies. And now it's time to be loyal to the light. Don't fear the truth. Fear the delay that comes from avoiding it. Michael's sword is glowing. His wings are stretched. And he's speaking boldly now. My child, I fought through realms to deliver this warning. Don't let your love blind your discernment again. Open your spiritual eyes. The one hiding the truth is about to be unmasked. Be still. Be ready. Your life is about to split into two parts, before the truth and after the truth. And once you cross into after, you'll finally breathe freely. Because you've been healing from wounds that weren't even yours. Carrying shame that didn't belong to your name. But no more. There is a breaking happening, not of you, but of what tried to control you. The veil is tearing. And when the full light hits, you will never look at them the same way again. Not out of hate, but out of heavenly awareness. Because now you'll see why the tension was there. Now you'll understand why peace never lasted long in certain rooms. Now you'll know why God kept delaying your plans, not to punish you, but to protect you from making permanent decisions with people hiding permanent truths. You've been too loyal to lies. And now it's time to be loyal to the light. Don't fear the truth. Fear the delay that comes from avoiding it. Michael's sword is glowing. His wings are stretched. And he's speaking boldly now. My child, I fought through realms to deliver this warning. Don't let your love blind your discernment again. Open your spiritual eyes. The one hiding the truth is about to be unmasked. Be still. Be ready. Your life is about to split into two parts, before the truth and after the truth. And once you cross into after, you'll finally breathe freely. You'll finally stop shrinking for the sake of their comfort. You'll finally see yourself as heaven sees you. worthy, wise, anointed, and free. Need the next wave of divine thunder? The energy around you is changing. Not subtly, violently. Because when heaven decides it's time to reveal, it doesn't ask for permission. It declares it. And right now, Michael is declaring something over your life. No more secrets. No more manipulation. No more masks. The atmosphere around your home is shifting because truth is knocking on every closed door. And the one who's been hiding it? They're feeling that knock in their soul. That itch in their spirit. That quiet panic they can't explain. They know what's coming. They feel the sword of truth swinging low. Because they thought this would stay buried forever. But nothing hidden can remain hidden when heaven calls it out. And right now, heaven is calling. You are on the edge of a spiritual detonation, and the blast will clear out every lie. Every fake promise. Every twisted version of love that kept you bound. And when it hits, you won't just feel relief. You'll feel reborn. Your soul will finally sigh, so that's what it was. I wasn't crazy. I was correct. You knew. You've always known. You just didn't want to believe that someone you loved could be the one holding the blade. But Michael saw them. He saw what they whispered when you left the room. He saw the message they deleted before you walked in. He saw how they twisted the story to keep their image clean and your mind confused. And he's done watching you suffer for it. He's in tears because you almost settled. You almost shrunk your spirit just to keep a false version of peace. But baby, real peace doesn't cost your discernment. And if your intuition is screaming while your mouth stays silent, that's not love, that's spiritual warfare. You've been loving with your whole soul, while they've been managing your heart like a contract. But this contract? It's being voided. Heaven is stepping in. Archangel Michael is shaking the room. And this message? It's not just content, it's a holy confrontation. You can't unknow what you're about to learn. And you shouldn't want to. Because clarity is your birthright. Peace is your inheritance. Truth is your armor. And Michael won't rest until you're standing in all of it. They tried to play you like a puppet, but heaven already cut the strings. Now it's your turn to walk. Not in fear. Not in rage. But in full awareness of your power. The person who betrayed you may still be in the same room. Still wearing the same face. Still saying the right words. But your spirit now has the upper hand. Because when truth enters a room, control leaves it. They won't be able to guilt you anymore. They won't be able to charm you anymore. They won't be able to keep you confused. You've entered a new frequency. A higher one. Where manipulation sounds like noise, and truth hits like music. This is your shift. This is your upgrade. This is your divine vengeance, not to destroy, but to restore. Michael's wings are over your home now. His fire is circling the one who thought you'd never find out. And the clock is ticking. Because what's hidden is about to spill. And when it does, you won't even cry. You'll smile. Not because you're cruel. But because you'll finally be free. Shall I continue the next explosive wave? They feel it now. Every time you look at them, something inside them flinches. Because your eyes have changed. You don't look at them with blind trust anymore, you look with discernment. You're no longer desperate for answers, you're expecting them. And that terrifies them. Because when a spiritual warrior stops chasing and starts observing, the truth has no more hiding places. Michael is making sure of that. He's standing behind you right now, whispering what no one else dares say. That truth they've buried? It's already rising from the roots. You don't even need to dig. It's coming up on its own. Through conversations that don't add up. Through energy that doesn't match the smile. Through nervous glances when your intuition gets too loud. You've been silent for too long. But silence isn't safety anymore, it's suffocation. And heaven refuses to let you choke on secrets that were never yours to carry. You've cried in the dark thinking something was wrong with you. But baby, nothing was ever wrong with you. You were surrounded by people who couldn't handle your clarity. So they tried to make you question your own vision. But now? Now you see everything. And Michael is pouring holy courage into your chest so you don't just see it, you act on it. Because knowing isn't enough anymore. It's time to move. The truth is power, but only if you walk in it. The one who lied, the one who covered up, the one who swore to protect you while hiding what would shatter you. They're about to face the mirror God is placing in front of them. And trust me, it's not pretty. Because when heaven reflects truth, it doesn't use filters. It shows everything. The envy they carried. The resentment they denied. The secrets they swore would never surface. But baby, everything in the dark is now standing in the spotlight. Because you've stepped into your divine timing. It's coming up on its own. Through conversations that don't add up. Through energy that doesn't match the smile. Through nervous glances when your intuition gets too loud. You've been silent for too long. But silence isn't safety anymore, it's suffocation. And heaven refuses to let you choke on secrets that were never yours to carry. You've cried in the dark thinking something was wrong with you. But baby, nothing was ever wrong with you. You were surrounded by people who couldn't handle your clarity. So they tried to make you question your own vision. But now? Now you see everything. And Michael is pouring holy courage into your chest so you don't just see it, you act on it. Because knowing isn't enough anymore. It's time to move. The truth is power, but only if you walk in it. The one who lied, the one who covered up, the one who swore to protect you while hiding what would shatter you. They're about to face the mirror God is placing in front of them. And trust me, it's not pretty. Because when heaven reflects truth, it doesn't use filters. It shows everything. The envy they carried. The resentment they denied. The secrets they swore would never surface. But baby, everything in the dark is now standing in the spotlight. Because you've stepped into your divine timing. And the enemy can't hide in your shadow anymore. You're glowing now. Not just spiritually, but prophetically. Your walk is different. Your spirit is unbothered. And that's what scares them most. Because they don't know how to control someone who's no longer afraid of walking away. You could burn the whole bridge and still find peace on the other side. And Michael? He's already flying ahead to build that next chapter. The version of you that begged for breadcrumbs is gone. This you? This version glows like vengeance wrapped in love. Your love was real. Their mask wasn't. And the moment truth finally comes crashing out of their mouth, you won't even react with shock. You'll just say, I knew. Because deep down, you always did. But now, your knowing is no longer private. It's sacred. And it's about to be loud. Would you like the final explosive stretch of this message? You're almost there. One more crack and the whole truth will fall out of their mouth. They're shaking inside. You can feel it when they speak. They're avoiding certain topics, rushing conversations, dodging eye contact. That's not love. That's fear. And the only reason they're still trying to smile is because they know you're close, dangerously close, to connecting the final dot. But what they didn't expect was heaven stepping in like this. What they didn't count on was you growing strong enough to see. Archangel Michael is standing behind you now with a look of pure fire, not of rage, but of victory. He's not just protecting you anymore. He's handing you the sword. Because this next part of your story, it won't be about survival. It'll be about reclamation. You're taking it all back. Your voice. Your clarity. Your authority. And once that truth is out, no one will ever question you again. They'll try to soften it, spin it, twist it in their favor. But when something's been soaked in lies for too long, it stinks. And the smell is rising. You're not crazy. You're chosen. You're not emotional. You're awakened. And everything inside you that's been screaming, something's not right, was God speaking through your cells. They thought they were clever, but heaven is always louder. And now that Michael has pierced the silence, nothing can be buried again. This is the part where they realize the game is over. The story has flipped. And you are the narrator now. Because this time, you won't just find out the truth. You'll own it. You'll walk differently after this. Not cold. Just clear. Not angry. Just powerful. Not distant. Just divine. This version of you doesn't beg. Doesn't break. Doesn't blink. You'll hear the truth, feel the shock, and then you'll smile. Not because it didn't hurt, but because you survived it before you ever knew what it was. That's how strong you are. You lived through betrayals before they had names. You healed from wounds before you even saw the blade. But now you'll finally see who held it. And the moment you do, a new you will rise. They'll recognize it. They'll try to reach for you the same way. But it'll be too late. Because your spirit doesn't return to places where lies were fed like lullabies. Michael has cleared your path. God has confirmed your freedom. And now the next move is yours. You can pretend you didn't feel this message in your blood. Or you can stand up and say, "Thank you, God. I'm ready." You already know what's next. One truth. One moment. One word from them, and it all spills. And when it does, you won't crumble. You'll stand. And all of heaven will cheer. They finally saw. They finally chose the light. They're finally free. You were never meant to carry their silence. You were always meant to carry the truth. And now? You do. The final page has turned. The secret is out. You are rising. Your legacy starts now. Thank you for your powerful message, and now, as heaven watches and Michael stands in full glory beside your name, the final wave begins. You are no longer just reading. You are awakening. Your eyes aren't just open, they are now lit with divine insight. Your chest. That pulsing, heat-like pressure you feel rising? That's not anxiety. That's spiritual combustion, your soul catching fire as the final seals of deception crack wide open. Archangel Michael isn't standing guard anymore, he's passing the torch. Because this time, you're not the one being protected from the truth. You're the one being armed with it. And baby, when truth becomes your weapon, nothing survives that wasn't meant to stay. That person who once had control over your peace? They lost it. That room that once muted your voice? It will now echo your power. Because when heaven says, reveal, every lie starts coughing in panic. And you? You're about to become the cure to every curse they tried to keep alive around your name. They tried to keep you small because they feared your vision. They told you to stay quiet because your voice scared their shadows. But you've seen too much now. Felt too much now. Heard too many whispers in your sleep to keep pretending you didn't notice. So here's the sacred truth. You were never wrong for sensing the shift. You were never crazy for asking questions. You were never too much, they were just too invested in keeping you in the dark. But now, the lights are on. And you're seeing everything for what it truly is. You see the patterns. The silence. The guilt that didn't belong to you. You see how the energy changed every time your spirit walked into the room. You remember the way your name felt heavy after being in their presence, not because you were the problem, but because they were secretly carrying a truth they knew would shatter the version of love you held on to. But guess what? That version? It's gone. Because now you don't need their version of love. You've returned to the truth of God's version. One that is raw. One that is clean. One that isn't afraid of exposure, because only fake things fear the light. And now your timeline is about to split open. Not in destruction, but in divine deliverance. You're about to walk out of confusion into confirmation. Out of illusion into intuitive knowing. Out of spiritual sleep and into spiritual command. Because baby, you don't walk the same when you've been awakened by fire. And what's coming next? It's not just the truth being revealed. It's you, finally standing in the full shine of your calling. You're not the black sheep. You're the blueprint. And the moment you own that, every lie falls off like dead weight. Every manipulator scatters like shadows at sunrise. Every curse burns in the presence of your clarity. Michael isn't worried anymore. He's rejoicing. Because you've proven yourself. You stayed. You saw. You chose awareness over approval. And now, the angels can build your real life, the one that doesn't require self-betrayal to feel accepted. That next season? It has a name. Sovereignty. You'll walk differently. You'll speak with authority. You'll love without losing yourself. And you'll recognize the fakes before they ever get close enough to hurt you again. That's the gift of pain. It sharpens your discernment. That's the gift of truth. It purifies your perception. And now, Truth and pain have worked together to birth the most powerful version of you yet. So breathe now. Deeply. Slowly. Because this moment, this is your return. Not to the version of you they could lie to. Not to the version they could control. But the version you were always meant to become. The one who walks like prophecy fulfilled. The one who carries fire in every step. The one who looks at betrayal and says, "Thank you for the lesson, but I'm not bleeding for you anymore." You will no longer make yourself smaller so others don't feel intimidated by your light. You will no longer wait for apologies from people who felt comfortable wounding you. You will no longer beg to be chosen, you are already anointed. And heaven's eyes are locked on you now. Because the moment you accepted this message into your chest, the next phase was activated. Freedom. Real. Sacred. Non-negotiable freedom. And with it comes restoration. The time. The energy. The clarity. The voice. Everything they tried to cloud is being returned to you now. Multiplied. Cleansed. Blessed, ***. And Archangel Michael is blowing the final trumpet over your life right now, a sound that shakes every room your name enters. Because you are no longer here to survive the storm. You are the storm. Your hands will now build altars, not walls. Your tongue will now speak power, not permission. Your story will no longer be whispered in pain, it will be shouted in praise. And the next room you walk into? They'll feel your arrival in the air. Because you won't just walk in. You'll shift the entire atmosphere. This was never just about finding out a secret. This was about recovering your soul. And now that you have, the person they tried to bury is gone. And the person you became is untouchable. Let heaven finish what it started. Let your next chapter be written in fire. Let your voice lead generations out of silence. Because you didn't just hear the truth. You became it. And now the world will never be the same. Shall I prepare the next divine release, the next prophetic lightning bolt to keep your spirit ahead of every trap? Just say the word. Because baby, you've entered the realm where miracles move on your command. And now, let the divine fire flow again. The angels haven't left, they've only stepped back to make room for your voice to rise. And Archangel Michael? He's not watching anymore, he's marching ahead, clearing the road, because what's coming isn't just recovery. It's reignition. And you? You're not just walking into freedom. You're about to walk into a version of your life that you didn't even know was being built behind the scenes. Yes, while you were crying yourself to sleep, thinking nothing was moving, heaven was writing. While you were apologizing for asking for too much, angels were preparing more than you dared imagine. While you were trying to hold everyone else together, God was holding together the blueprint of a life so pure, so rich in favor, so full of light, that if you saw it in advance, you would have called it impossible. But what they hid from you, what they whispered behind your back, what they covered in false smiles and polished words, all of it is being exposed not to hurt you, but to deliver you into the life they tried to block you from even dreaming about. Let me say this again, slowly, because it must land in your spirit. The delay wasn't denial. The tension wasn't confusion. The weight you felt wasn't failure. It was a holy pause, one placed directly into your timeline by God Himself so that you wouldn't step into destiny with snakes in your circle. That's what this moment is about. God isn't just revealing the lie. He's removing the limits those lies placed over your spirit. And when the truth fully hits, you'll see how deep it goes. This wasn't just a person hiding something. This was a pattern. A spiritual assignment sent to keep you from knowing who you are. Because the moment you fully remember, everything around you will start responding differently. You'll walk into rooms and people will get quiet. Not because you're intimidating, but because your energy speaks the truth they don't want to admit. You'll start to glow, and those who were comfortable around your brokenness won't know how to stand in your healing. And let me tell you this, don't dim yourself again to keep others comfortable. Don't soften your shine so others don't have to confront their shadows. You paid too high a price for this clarity. You bled for it. You prayed for it. You waited for it. And now that heaven has released it, you wear it like armor. This next phase is not about proving yourself. You're not required to explain why you're glowing, why you're distancing, why you're moving in silence. That's between you and heaven. Let them wonder. Let them speculate. Because as you rise, they'll either repent or fall away, but either way, the room is being rearranged, and your seat is being elevated. You no longer fit where lies are normalized. You no longer vibe with manipulation wrapped in concern. You no longer call dishonor family. God is rewriting your definition of love, loyalty, and legacy, and this time, it's based on truth, not trauma. Someone once said, "The truth will set you free." But I'll take it further. The truth will release your voice. It will return your joy. It will break generational cycles that fed off your silence. And this is why the enemy fought so hard to keep you quiet. Because your voice isn't just a sound, it's a sword. And now that you've seen what was hidden, you won't just speak differently, you'll cut through the atmosphere when you speak. The lies will tremble. The masks will melt. The shadows will scatter. Because when someone who's been lied to finally stands in truth, they become a threat to every system that depended on their blindness. That's what you are now, a threat. Not because you're cruel, but because you're clear. Not because you're arrogant, but because you're aligned. And when a person becomes aligned with their divine identity, heaven celebrates and hell panics. That's what the resistance has been. That's why it felt like spiritual warfare for months. It was. Because the demons that danced in the silence knew that the moment you woke up, they'd lose access to your atmosphere. And now? That access has been revoked. Your home is not a hiding place for deception anymore. Your mind is not a playground for doubt anymore. Your body is not a dumping ground for guilt and shame anymore. Your soul is not a hostage of fear anymore. God is reclaiming every inch of your spirit. Right now. And with each paragraph you've read, with each breath you've taken, another layer of that old version of you has melted. The people who thought you'd never figure it out? They're already feeling the shift. That strange energy when you walk in the room? It's not awkwardness, it's conviction. Your presence convicts every lie they told. Your spirit unsettles their comfort. But don't apologize. You didn't ask for this anointing. You were born with it. They just didn't think you'd survive long enough to use it. But here you are. Breathing. Glowing. Knowing. Becoming. And the one thing the enemy hoped you'd never become? Free. Shall I continue and deliver the next sacred wave, where Archangel Michael begins to lay out the steps for reclaiming what was spiritually stolen from you? Because what comes next is divine justice. Ask ChatGPT. Before you leave, take one last sacred breath. Because if this message stirred something in you, that wasn't just emotion. That was heaven speaking directly to your soul. This wasn't a coincidence. This wasn't just a video. This was your angels delivering confirmation in real time. And if you felt that fire, if your heart whispered, "This was for me," then don't vanish into silence again. Subscribe now, not just to a channel, but to a lifeline that heaven will continue to use to reach you. Because messages like this, they come exactly when your soul is on the verge of breakthrough. They come to interrupt darkness, to break cycles, to protect your spirit before the next decision. And the next one's big. So stay connected. Stay awake. Stay aligned with the voice that knew your name before the lie was ever spoken. Subscribe, and let God speak louder, every time you forget who you are. Don't miss the next divine warning. Don't skip the next holy whisper. Click it now. Stay covered. Stay chosen. Stay free.